Today's video will teach you how to make this macrame snowflake. It's great for hanging on the walls, using on tables as decorative pieces, or even hanging on your Christmas tree as ornaments. So if you'd like to see how to make it, then just keep watching. For this project, you will need 2mm thick macrame cord. I bought 14 yards of it so that I could cut 12 strips, all 36 inches long. You will also need a 1.5-inch hoop, some clear glitter paint, it's fabric paint, and some head pins, no longer than 1.25 inches. So your first step is going to be attaching all of your cords to the hoop. So to do this, we're going to tie a lark's head knot. Fold one cord in half and line up the ends so that it's evenly folded. Take the looped end down through the hoop, and then take the loose ends through that loop and pull tight. And that's your lark's head knot. Next, you'll tie 2 half hitches. So on the left side, you'll grab the left cord, go under, around, and through the loop and pull tight. And on the right side, you'll do the same thing. So go under the hoop, around, and then pull down through the loop tight. And so there were your 2 half hitches. Now you're just going to repeat the same exact knots for all 12 or 11 of your other cords. Once you have finished attaching all of your cords in this manner to the hoop, next you're going to take 4 of the cords and you're going to tie 2 square knots. And to do this, you'll take the right cord over the middle cords behind the left cord. Then take the left cord behind the middle cords and through that loop and pull tight. That's the first half of your square knot. And then the second half is just in reverse. So take the left cord over the middle cords behind the right cord, then take the right cord behind the middle cords and up through the loop. And once you pull tight, you have 1 square knot. And now you're going to tie 1 more. And if you need a little refresher on how to tie a square knot, or if you're a beginner, definitely check out my macrame knots for beginners video, where I break it down in really slow, easy to follow steps. So there are your 2 square knots, and now you're going to repeat the same exact step for every set of 4 cords. What you'll end up with is 6 sets of 2 square knots around your hoop. Once you've tied all of your square knots, separate the cords like so, and then you're going to pull each set of 4 cords apart, and you're going to create alternating square knots. So take 2 cords from one knot, another 2 cords from the adjacent knot, and you'll create a new row of square knots. And where I'm pinching these cords, that's where each square knot will go. So go ahead and tie 1 square knot at each point. And the different part about this section is that I'm going to be tying these square knots very loose. And the reason why I'm not going to tighten them all the way yet is because I want to be able to come back when all of them are tied, make adjustments as needed just to make it as symmetrical as I can. So I'm keeping them a bit loose for this step. And now that I've loosely tied all 6 square knots, I'm going to go ahead and make little adjustments here and there and slowly tighten them to make it as symmetrical as it can be. The next step is an exact repeat of the previous step, where we're going to make a row of alternating square knots. So these knots should line up to the first square knots that you tied. So just as before, I'm going to tie these pretty loosely, and then I'll go back in, tighten them, and make adjustments as needed once I've tied all 6 of them. Now that you've tied all 6 of your alternating square knots, take each set of the 4 cords. Do not make it alternating this time. We're just going to finish out the points of our snowflake. So you're going to tie a square knot, but you're going to leave a good amount of space before pulling it tight. So you're going to leave those 2 cords, those 2 working cords, nice and loose. Pull your square knot really tight, and then grab the knot and push it. And this is creating that little design. And then we're going to tie 2 more, and each time you're going to give a little less room so that it comes to sort of a triangle point. So I'm going to start a square knot, leave some room, but not as much room as the first one. Pull it tight, and then push it forward. See, so that one's a little bit smaller than that first one. And then for the last one, I'm going to leave the least amount of room so that it is even smaller. And then you'll push that one down. And that is the point of your snowflake, one of the 6 points. So you're going to repeat this on all of the 5 other sides, leaving the most room at the top. The middle one, leave a little bit less room, And the last one, leaving the least amount of room of all. Once you've finished all of your square knots to finish out the points of your snowflakes, go ahead and trim the remaining cord. I left about an inch, a half an inch to an inch left of cord because I'm going to end up fraying these out. Now, to make sure that all 6 points of my snowflake have a little bit of structural integrity, I'm going to be lifting up each point and sticking a pin down through those square knots. And you can even stick one going downward and one going upward so that there's 2 pins in there. But it just helps add a little bit more structure. Next, as I mentioned, I'm going to be fraying out each and every half inch to an inch piece of cord that's left over on the ends of the points. And this is a little bit tedious and takes some time, but I think it looks really great if you truly fray out each and every piece of the cord. Once you've frayed out all of your cords, here is where you can take your clear fabric paint. Now this is an optional part, but I just wanted to add some sparkle to mine. So it's got like tiny little pink, white, silver, and gold sparkles in it that the camera won't really pick up, but I'm just using a little sponge and I'm applying a bunch of that glittery fabric paint. And then I took one of my leftover pieces of cord and I'm just using that as a little tie to hang it up as an ornament or to hang it on the wall. And this is the final product. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope this was easy to follow. And thank you so much for watching.